Yeah, let's watch it. Anna Akana. Anna Akana. Alright. I'm ready. Dating women to understand men. I bet you they're not very easy to understand.
So as you may remember, I came out as bisexual last year. And since then, I have been dating
She's like
women.
Shu.
And what I found very fascinating is that the more I date women, the more I find myself understanding heterosexual men.
Maybe men aren't lying about how women are difficult. I don't know. I'm willing to bet that this will be the outcome. Like, maybe, just maybe, the empathy that you learn from this situation will make you understand that maybe women are a bit of a problem. Men can be problems too, absolutely, but women have emotions. They have estrogen and hormones. Estrogen makes you mean, chat.
Let me explain. Exhibit A. I was on a first date with a girl who asked me out, by the way. This is relevant.
Okay.
Because when the check came, she never once made a move to pay. Not even like the fake, let me reach for my purse move. And though I don't mind paying on a date, part of me felt like, you know, the offer would have been nice.
Why are you supposed to pay? You're both women. Hold on. Like, pause. Rewind that. You're not a man, so, like, what's the dynamic of, like, asking to pay if the expectation is that if you're a male, you always offer regardless of gender? Yeah, I think that's a cultural thing, but she also asked her to go to a restaurant or whatever. Yeah, 50-50 would have been fair, not like her paying all of it. That's just weird.
Also a little taken aback that she didn't even say thank you.
Nah, that's criminal. What? Nah, fuck you, bitch. I ain't talking to you ever again. I'm ghosting that bitch.
And I never heard from her again.
I'm scratching my head at that one. What a bitch.
Really made me feel like she just asked me out so she could have a free dinner. And the moment I thought that, I was like, oh my god, I sound like all of my guy friends right now. And
now she gets it. She fucking gets it.
my argument against why guys should pay for dates has always been like, look, girls take hours to get ready. Our investment is looking really nice for you. Makeup, clothes, that costs money too. But we were both girls in this situation. We both took hours to get ready, so I definitely felt slighted.
Yeah, because she expected you to be the quote-unquote man, therefore she's better than you. Yo, imagine the psychopathy of that. Yeah, like, you look like a fucking floozy. I don't care.
Exhibit B. On another date, I went back to a girl's house and I ended up making friends with her cat.
Oh.
That's not a pun. I'm talking about her literal, actual animal. And she said, wow, my cat never likes anyone. I better go out and buy a wedding dress.
Making a joke like that on the first date? No, not a good look, chat. Nuh-uh.
And again, I felt like I got some serious perspective. I have been guilty of making these kinds of jokes on dates with men. I never really thought anything of it. I was just being silly. But then when I was on the receiving end of it, I suddenly understood the panic. And finally,
men don't talk about that panic, though. If they talk about that panic, they're being an asshole or they're being a pussy. I'm telling you, there's a deep fucking double standard on, like, jokes like that and also harassment.
Finally, Exhibit C. One girl invited me back into her house, and her specific words were, do you want to come in and make out? Obviously, I'm like, yeah, you're really pretty. I want to press my face to yours. But then when we got there, we both just sat on the couch, and she talked till like 3 a.m. And I was like,
Oh my god, that would actually fucking give me physical pain. Imagine being a dude expecting to make out and you'd just be like sitting there like looking at the clock like, I'm not even getting anything out of this, you fucking yapper. Holy yapper! Maybe she should start streaming instead.
Yo girl, I gotta wake up at like 6 a.m. I was told there would be kisses here. There are no kisses. And like, look, I don't wanna sound like an asshole. Like, I don't mind talking. I love talking. But she could have said, do you wanna come in and just talk? And I would have had totally different expectations for the evening. You know, finally I started falling asleep and I was like, hey, I gotta go. And I gave her one kiss and left. And I felt sad that the amount of kisses promised did not equal the amount of kisses delivered. And once again, I felt like a dude who was upset that I did not receive the expected.
And then people get mad on Twitter when you explain a situation like this. You explain this from a man's point of view, it's like, oh, well, all you care about is fucking sex! God, it's so cringe, man.
Physical kisses I was promised. And I wanted to talk about this because I felt like this has really been expanding my perspective when it comes to dating. I finally understand a lot of the complaints my male friends have about dating that I admit I would usually dismiss. But now I really get it when they say, dating is just so expensive, man.
Sometimes I feel like a girl doesn't even like me for me, she just wants like a boyfriend.
That is so true. She just wants the fucking, what is it called? Like a punching bag? Not a literal one. I'm talking about like an emotional one. Yeah, no, for real. I think this is a very, very true introspective, like, you know, an introspective reflection of a woman experiencing what men feel, but men aren't allowed to express themselves like that. Again, she even self-reflected and said, normally I dismiss it, but, you know, maybe women can be truthful about this. Oh, emotional ATM, that's actually a really good one. Yes! That's very common in women. By the way, anecdotal story, there was a girl in my school that was an emotional vampire for me. She would only talk to me if she wanted to trauma dump. It was so tiring. I can't imagine wanting to, like, date and then finding out that they're just an emotional vampire like that.
I wish it were more socially expected to go Dutch on the first few dates, but you're like a jerk if you even suggest it. And any experience that expands your compassion and understanding is one that I think is worthy of sharing. So what about you? Have you had any experiences that have shifted your viewpoint dramatically? Let me know.
No, I'm a fucking virgin. I don't talk to people, but I will say this. People who act like this in relationship-esque situations, they act like this with friends too. They act like this with like just people that they know and not people that they're trying to date. It's actually insane. Like, look at the trend. Like, if you find out, let's say you have a friend that dated a chick and then they have a friend that made friends with them, they will very likely tell you the same story. No, like, it's real. People are disgusting. That's why I don't talk to them.
I'm SmugAlana, and thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace has beautiful, award-winning templates.
Oh my god, look at those legs!
So there's no need to install patches.
Are those
or
walkers, chat?
They also have 24-hour customer service and offer a simple and unique setup experience if you need a domain. With Squarespace, you can create any kind of website, whether you're chronicling your dating adventures or just blogging about your perennial singledom. Go to squarespace.com/Anna to start your free trial today, and use the offer code Anna for 10% off at checkout.
Yeah, this is very true, chat. Oh, man. It's a rough one being a person who's emotionally empathetic and just wants to meet someone nice. This kind of thing happens with, like, people who are looking for friends. Women on women, like, friendship is very difficult to navigate. I'm not even talking about, like, VTubers talking to other VTubers. I'm talking, like, on a surface level of you meet at work, maybe, you have a 9-to-5 job, and then you try to be friends with a woman as another woman, and there's no, like, sexual thing to it. It's just difficult to navigate when you've experienced so many people who just use you. They don't want anything out of you. They either see you as, like, an emotional dump sponge or basically a cum dump, or they use you for, you know, basically bitching at work about other people. It's rough. Or outside of work, I've had that too. Being a well-adjusted human in 2025 is dangerous to your health. Guys, this was in 2019. It has not gotten better. Yeah, everyone is really transactional. And I'm not talking about VTubing because it is, after all, it is a fucking business at the end of the day. I'm not saying that you can't make friends, but at the same time, it is a business. It is a job. It's just business, baby! You shouldn't fuck over other people, but that's besides the point. You shouldn't expect, like, extreme friendships on day one. You should try and be as genuine as you can. Don't be a fucking two-faced whore. Yeah. Parasocial friendships, chat. It's just business. Corpa borpa business.